welcome to a Sunday special edition of the AirNetwork.net and a live stream to you as we break into our regularly scheduled programming to bring you some special programming this morning as the Pittsburgh Penguins get set to take on San Jose Sharks in Game 1 of that all-important Stanley Cup Final run. Happening tomorrow, by the way, first game in Pittsburgh, 8 o'clock NBC television has that game. And, of course, it's been kind of the tale of two seasons already as we saw kind of a haphazard, of course, team earlier in the season. Dave Shannon called for the firing of the coach. He got fired. And then we moved on to Mike Sullivan and, of course, the Penguins as we see them this day. By the way, live from Pittsburgh Consol Energy Center, we've got a good dear old friend, Tom Callihan, A.D. at Westmont Area High School. In addition to that, former announcer for Game of the Week, which you saw throughout the region. Cal, what are you doing this morning? You're down at Pittsburgh checking out the morning skate. What's going on?
Yes, we are down here in Pittsburgh, the morning skate. Myself, Brian Parrish, checking out the Pittsburgh Penguins. You were up first. And getting to watch now a little bit of looks like power play action where they're practicing. Brian, is that what we're seeing?
Yes, definitely. A lot of speed out there on the ice right now, no doubt about it.
Let me ask you guys, as they prepare for Game 1 tomorrow night in Pittsburgh at Consol Energy Center, and just wanted to make mention, Tom, did you see like a tale of two seasons this year? Are you surprised the Pens are even in this thing?
Well, I tell you what, if you had told me back in December or even beginning of January that the Pens would be here on the eve of the Stanley Cup, I'd say no way. I didn't even think they were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, Brian, you concur? I mean, we talked about this every day.
Yeah, I think that there was probably enough people on this team and also in the higher-ups that they were calling for a lot of heads from this team just because of the lack of performance out on the ice. And you can come back to saying that was the system that they were playing under the former coach. And, you know, once Sullivan came in and breathed a little bit of new life into this team and we had some call-ups and a couple trades made, here we are now getting ready for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals tomorrow night.
Hey, Cal, as Brian alluded to, that whole system change, I mean, that was major. Sullivan coming up from, I believe it was Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and bringing his system with him. Is that how that worked out?
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you know anything about Sullivan as far as coaching and stuff like that, he kind of allows the players to play the game that they're used to playing. You know, I think under Johnston they were somewhat stifled as far as what they could do,
right,
how they could play. Now you've got this infusion of speed, and you know you've got someone like a Phil Kessel who can go out and score what seems like at will. Just sitting here watching him with his wrist shots right now, it's just being this close to him and seeing this, and even in practice form, is kind of amazing. But you know, they've always had the skill there. I think it was just a matter of putting certain keys in place and allowing them to play to their strengths.
Yeah, Cal, do you kind of feel like they finally got their lines together? Because it seemed to be a problem with Johnston. Like he couldn't figure out which lines to put with which players.
Yeah, it really has. And although Sullivan's juggled the lines a little bit, yeah, I think things have calmed down. And you know, it's just fun hockey now.
Yeah.
You know, watching it under Johnston was sometimes torturous, knowing what we had and what they couldn't do. Now they're out skating, you know, freewheeling, using their speed. And, you know, you look at the addition of the HBK line even, you know, that's been crucial to our success this year.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Tom Callihan and Brian Parrish live from the Consol Energy Center. Morning skate with the Penguins out first, and then the Sharks coming out later on this morning. Hey, guys, and one of you guys can jump in here. In the net, as we get started with this series, how do you see that? Is it Murray or is it Fleury? I mean, what are we doing here?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that this is Murray's team right now. But that being said, you know, I wouldn't be amazed or even a little bit surprised to see maybe Fleury getting in a game.
Yeah.
You know, what seemed to happen here when we put when Pittsburgh put Fleury back in net, you know, we didn't see this jumping around that we did with the St. Louis Blues with their goalie tandem. We saw, you know, you saw Murray give up the 4 goals in that one game. And then, you know, you saw Fleury come in, whether it was mop-up duty or whatever you want to say. He looked strong in that third period, even though they failed to win that game. He kept them off the score sheet. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fleury come back in for a game. And quite frankly, it might not be because Murray played a bad game, but to have those 4 days off, whereas Fleury played that one game, Murray had the 2 extra days of rest. you look at him coming back in, he was stellar for those last 2 games against Tampa. So whatever happens here, I truly believe that this is Murray's team going forward, at least for this playoff series.
Right. Coach Cal, your thoughts on that? I mean, I know that,
I
I
agree.
Yeah.
Being a basketball guy, I always go with that theory. You got to dance with the one that brought you.
Yeah.
And Murray's the guy that's brought him this far. But I don't think there's going to be any hesitation whatsoever if they do have to make a change. You got to feel good about our situation in that, as opposed to anybody else. We've got some proven guys that either, I think, can get the job done.
Hey, since Brian's a hockey guy here, Tom, real quick, I just want to ask him, weaknesses, strengths, what's he see going into this series, Brian? Like, in terms of San Jose, I've only seen the one guy, what's the guy with the big beard, Tom, that plays for the San Jose Sharks? He seems to be the misnomer in this game.
Yeah, you know what? Pavelski right now.
Yeah.
There's a reason they made him a captain, and he's proving it. They're strong up and down the lineup right now in the playoffs. They've got the number 1, 2, and 3 points leaders. You can't. It's hard to find a fault with San Jose. I mean, if there's anything, I would say that Pittsburgh's got the edge in speed.
Yeah.
You're looking you've got 2 young goaltenders in net, so I mean that's a coin flip right now. Jones is playing well as well for San Jose. On the back end, I would say, San Jose probably, if I was going to give them an edge, it's going to be on the back end.
Right.
Just very strong defensively. Forward-wise, though, again, you've got a coin flip. You've got a lot of guys that have been waiting a long time for San Jose to get to where they're at today. Jumbo Thornton. You've got Patrick Marleau. You're talking about 18-year veterans that are probably just chomping at the bit to try and do what they can to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, there's no doubt these guys are going to be hungry going into this thing tomorrow, by the way. It's the airnetwork.net. We're live this morning, live from actually for the Pittsburgh Consol Energy Center. Tom Callihan and Brian Parrish. I remember Brian playing hockey, don't I, Coach? Back in Johnstown or something? Yeah.
Sadly, I was actually a basketball player. I grew up in Crescent, so
really?
For Pencambria.
Okay.
Pencambria.
I thought maybe
Seems
you got
like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, and I thought maybe you got some ice time in down at the War Memorial back there, and it reminds me of
I
that.
can skate. It's just not very well.
Yeah. Hey, well, Cal can skate too, because Cal, didn't you just skate in the hoses and the police and the firemen thing recently?
I don't skate well, buddy. I have trouble stopping, and going backwards is quite the challenge. But
yeah, but your nephew
I can get out there and do it if I have to.
Yeah, but your nephew probably can skate pretty well. Anyhow.
My nephew Aaron, he's a skater of the family.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Hey, what are you observing, Cal, as you're sitting there? Is this your first time for a skate like going into the Stanley Cup? That's got to be exciting, man.
Yeah, it is. And Brian and I talked about it. This is the first time either of us have watched a practice. And, they come out in a little free-for-all in the beginning, skating around, getting some shots on goal. But it's just like any other sport. They get into their set plays here. They're working both ends of the ice, working on, odd man breaks, different things like that. So it's pretty well structured. It's really intense, actually, if you look down there now.
How much ice time will these guys get before the Sharks come out later on this morning?
They'll get the first hour here. Then they'll have their interviews and stuff like that, and then I believe they come out at 2.
Yeah.
San Jose will be out at 2. They'll get their hour of ice time, and then they'll meet with the media as well. So
yeah, how do you guys see this thing playing out? Seriously, is it going to go 7? I mean, is it going to be that tight, guys?
I'm thinking 7. I think we've got 2 good teams here, 2 goalies that are playing well. It's gonna matter. I think it comes down to the veterans of Pittsburgh. I think if Malkin and Crosby come out strong, along with what these young guys are doing, it might go 6. But I'm thinking 7.
Wow,
Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd have to concur there. I can't see this going any less than 7, just because of the makeup of both teams. You've got skill at both ends. You've got speed at both ends. You've got 2 what seems to be very outstanding goaltenders right now that both seem unflappable. So you might see a 5-4 game here or there, but I'm seeing probably a lot of 3-2, 2-1 games coming out of this series.
Wow, that's going to be really tight. We're excited. Of course, the airnetwork.net that you guys are with us, Tom Callihan and Brian Parrish, that you would take some time out of your busy schedules this morning during the skate at Consol Energy Center as we get set and we get excited for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And guys, what do you think, man? Since 2009, huh? It's been kind of a drought here the last few years. What do you think, Coach?
It's been a while, hasn't it, Tom?
It's been a while as far as your Pittsburgh expectations.
Right.
If you're a Caps fan, it hasn't,
Yeah.
they haven't gotten here. So,
Yeah.
But as far as Pittsburgh teams, we seem to be a bit impatient. 2009, not that long ago, but
No.
for us fans, it's been too long.
Yeah, it's been like a lifetime already.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hey, well, listen, guys, thank you very much. Let me get some final thoughts real quick. We're not going to let you go. I'm going to kind of bail out of the live broadcast and then talk to you a little bit. But, Tom, any parting shots, Tom or Brian? Go ahead.
I'm excited to be here. It's great for the city of Pittsburgh. I think it's what we've been waiting for the last few years. Brian, I'll be here at all the home games, updating everybody and just having fun with some Penguins hockey that you never want to see end. Brian?
Yeah, I agree. I just can't wait for the puck to drop tomorrow night. It should be an exciting series. You've got West Coast San Jose, a lot of trips in between, but should be an exciting series. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, we're looking forward to it too, guys. Thanks again, Tom Callihan, Brian Parrish. Hey, Cal, you got some connections down there for those tickets that you got. I mean, seriously, how'd you get those tickets, man?
Hey, bro, we'll talk afterwards, I'm sure, man. I think it all has to do with knowing you.
Oh, there we go. Everybody uses my name to get in. All right, thanks, guys. Hold on the line. It's the airnetwork.net. We are live with Tom Callihan and Brian Parrish from Consol Energy Center as they get set for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. By the way, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on NBC TV. I mean, the real network, not the sports thing. All right, so don't be confused. Meanwhile, we're standing by Dave Shannon. We've got Chad States and also Jimmy Ty weighing in from the Philadelphia area. Maybe I can get the coach and Brian back on with those guys, and we'll chat a little bit about the Penguins and their ensuing Stanley Cup championship, we hope, here on the airnetwork.net. Now back to our regularly scheduled programs.